right. Welcome back to What She Said Sports, everybody. All right. So I hope y'all can hear me. Hope you uh y'all know we got a lot to talk about. I made a list. Shout out that have been emailing me and telling me, sending me your emails, sending me the phone numbers, sending me the messages. You've been calling up to the Browns organization about Jerry Jeudy and his blatant disrespect of Shedeur Sanders. But first, before we get there, I want to talk about Haslam, right? I think everybody sees that Shedeur doesn't deserve to be held back. Shedeur deserves to be an elite QB1 allowed to ball out without play calling stifling him, without poor game planning, right? Obviously, he deserves to be in an environment that's non-toxic and harassment-free. That's where Jerry Jeudy come in at. Haslam, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to keep saying it. Haslam should be forced to sell this team because he's allowing Stefanski to run rogue. And because Stefanski is on the hot seat, Stefanski is in trouble, made himself a legal liability, meaning consequences have come home to roost. It appears that he has enlisted the aid of Jerry Jeudy. And guess what? The cameraman knows it. Jerry Jeudy scored a penalty, illegal shift penalty that caused the game negative yards, right? And the cameraman went straight to Stefanski's face, and you saw his reaction. Now, if the cameraman can point it out, if I can point it out, everybody else knows in the football world. Everybody knows this, right? Including Haslam. I don't give a damn if Haslam is on a yacht in the south of France. This is still your team. And you have left Stefanski in charge to run rogue, make himself a legal liability. And when people pointed out that you can win, you leave Stefanski in place because you have proven to your fans you don't want to win. You don't want to win if you leave Stefanski in place. And Stefanski doesn't want to win if he keep making excuses for Jerry Jeudy like he did last week. Not a coincidence that Jerry Jeudy keeps getting out there, and he's not good. And what needs to be looked into is when Jerry Jeudy left Denver, he underperformed. So what was the reason the Browns gave Jerry Jeudy a $53 million contract with $41 million guaranteed? And he was a crash out at his previous team and had not set foot on the field. And they gave him this contract in March. Right around the same time, they decided after the Vegas Super Bowl that they targeted who? Charles Woodson. And a few months later, they targeted who? Shedeur Sanders as their number 2 overall spot. So what I'm starting to see is that this plot to secure Shedeur Sanders to the Browns, something they had no intention of him being his franchise QB, could possibly go all the way back to the Vegas Super Bowl, which is why they text or called Charles Woodson and said, are you still interested? Because they already denied him limited partnership. Suddenly, and Charles Woodson tell the story, it's documented. They rushed him through to meet Haslam at the Vegas Super Bowl. And they knew in 2024, it was going to be Charles Woodson, but they waited. They waited until after they baited and switched with Shedeur. And that was to make people think they're not racist, right? That was to make people think that. And then they went on and gave Jerry Jeudy at about the same time. They gave Jerry Jeudy a contract for work he didn't earn. He underperformed. So what did you bring him for? Saying you thought he could help you do what? You thought he could help you in 2025 like Charles Woodson? So you got him in 2024. He and another guy had 1,000 yards apiece, and you still only won 3 games. Stefanski turns over his headset, and when Deshaun gets injured, and then you fire somebody else, the offensive coordinator, not Stefanski. And y'all want to tell everybody Stefanski's job is safe and that he did good work for you. It must be off the field. Haslam should be forced to sell this team because his behavior is gross negligence. Every time Shedeur get out there and play, he make an unexpected play, a touchdown. They never expect him to make it. You know what they tried to do in this game? They tried to contain him in the pocket. We noticed how Brock Purdy could run all around the field and not get sacked and get time to throw the ball away. But Shedeur got to stay in the pocket. So they keep making his degree of difficulty higher so he doesn't succeed. What's on the screen? Browns Insider is stunned by Cleveland Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders, suggested he could wind up on the practice squad. Why the hell would somebody as talented as Shedeur wind up on a practice squad? Because I don't want him to be my quarterback. Yes, he's good enough, but I don't want him to be my quarterback. The Browns are showing every week that this organization is corrupt. I already talked to y'all about racketeering. I put out a poll asking, should Jerry Jeudy be investigated? And I listed a couple of things he should be investigated for. One is point shaving. Some people say they don't know what he's doing, but they know he's doing something and he needs to be investigated. Jerry Jeudy lost his rabbit mind, posting up on Shedeur. And this is how I know it is highly likely he's working with Stefanski. First of all, he would have never did that to Flacco. And his numbers weren't good with Flacco. He would have never did that to Dylan. And his numbers weren't good with Dylan. He only had 300 yards through, 2 and 8, 10 games. But you want to come on the sideline and post up Shedeur, and you didn't feel no consequence because you know Stefanski don't like Shedeur. And Stefanski took up for you last week. I don't know whose dumb idea it was to give that crash out, $41 million, but now they owe him. And just like Bryce Young beat Matt Stafford, and look at his journey, that's going to be Shedeur. Bryce Young had to struggle through a bad organization until people left the tickets 45 cents to become a good organization. He had to stay there and struggle. It's obvious that Haslam does not want Shedeur to be his quarterback. What is on your screen is telling you that they don't value Shedeur, which is why they keep abusing him and harassing him. And Jerry Jeudy has lost his natural mind. I thought the quarterback position was the most important position on the team. So why are we allowing Jerry Jeudy, underperforming wide receiver, who not even a leading receiver, why are we allowing him to attack and harass the quarterback, the most important position on the team? Because the quarterback position is the most important position on the team until it's Shedeur. I'm sick of this organization trying to tell this young man, we don't want you, we don't value you, to the point that they got Jerry Jeudy acting like a fool on the sideline, and people are disgusted with him. He already underperforming, and he would never have done that to Dylan or Flacco. And y'all know he would have feared consequences. He don't fear consequences because he know how Stefanski feels. This is what I meant by Stefanski has created a toxic culture. Because he wanted to hold on for Dylan so long, there were players in their feelings not wanting to block for Shedeur. But they see Shedeur is good. People pointed out all kind of Wyatt Teller mysteriously leaves the game. Then the center, number 55, mysteriously leaves the game, and 56 comes in, and Shedeur start getting pressured. It's obvious they have Shedeur Sanders in football jail. And I don't mean on the Browns organization. I mean on the field when he's trying to play. The moment Shedeur does anything good, they shut it all down. That's exactly what Pat Schumer did at Colorado, Georgia Tech game, and several games afterwards. Them players played their hearts out, and they got that score up, but they got the ball back. And Pat Schumer did what? 3 and out, 3 and out. There was one drive, they ran the ball the entire time. See, they want Shedeur to be upset. Shout out to Shedeur Sanders. He said, we ran the ball really well. They asked him about Stefanski and calling some play. He said, that's a rude question. He said, I'm not about to sit up here and question no coach's play calling. I'm just happy to be playing football. And he stood up when Jerry Jeudy was being very animated and all of this over him knowing 50 million are looking. I told y'all last week, Jerry Jeudy took Shedeur's kindness for weakness. And you see he tried to unload on him, and Shedeur stood up like, I don't know who you're playing with, partner. And then the center had to come over to Jerry Jeudy and be like, okay, his contract should be terminated immediately. But they guaranteed him $41 million, and he acted like a jackal. He has made himself pariah. He is only an asset to be used to sabotage. And I do wonder if that's why he got his contract in the first place, because he got that contract at the same time they pigeonholed Charles Woodson. And Jerry Jeudy is not like that. When I listen to all the names of the receivers out here, Jerry Jeudy name don't come up in the same conversation with Justin Jefferson. So it seems it's possible Jerry Jeudy might be getting paid for his services, just like Stefanski, that have nothing to do with winning football games. Because Jerry Jeudy better explain to somebody why he feared no consequence, being suspended or anything else for coming at the quarterback, and why he didn't do it when it was Dylan, when Dylan was hitting people upside the head with the goddamn ball. I looked at Jerry's stats today. I don't know what the hell he mad with Shedeur for, because the play calling is trash. We called it out. Shedeur had 6 different receivers before halftime. That don't have nothing to do with Shedeur. They ran the ball more than they passed the ball. Why you not over there posted up on Quishon Junkins? Why you not posted up on Stefanski? Why you not posted up? No, you posted up on Shedeur because you know they don't like Shedeur. So you thought you could take your shot after you played in his face last week. But you're going to learn. You're going to learn. Your contract might be guaranteed, but you're going to be in Siberia somewhere. That's what you're going to be. Because people are not going to sit by quietly after this. They are disgusted. Sharing the phone number to Andrew Berry's office so he can get all them damn messages. I'm like, you would never have done that to Dylan. And that tells me you a coward and you a punk, because you think Stefanski don't like Shedeur. Nobody going to say nothing to you. Stefanski already got to be different because 10 million people standing on his head. He can withstand the pressure because he's the coach and they ain't going to fire him just yet. But you on an island, boo. Yeah, they got to pay you your $41 million, but nobody will respect you. And I hope you paid your taxes, because you're going to be broke, because you clearly don't have good judgment. And it shows you a buster. To treat Shedeur like that after last week. Last week, he want to stop running his route, right? He want to stop running and pretend. And then he mad this week because he don't get the ball a lot. All actions have consequences, Jerry Jeudy. All actions have consequences. And when you was out there with Dylan, you didn't have this energy. So who you trying to be? You want to be the house ninja? That's what you want to be? That's what you want to be? You want to be the company man? What? You want some attention? Because Shedeur get all the attention? Of course he does. He's a cultural icon. We don't know you. And we don't care to know you. You have embarrassed this league. You have embarrassed your family. You have embarrassed yourself. And ain't nobody going to want to use you for good. But they're going to want to make you an asset. And when you start becoming an asset, it's hard to get out. It's hard to get out. So save your money. Because people are calling up to the Browns organization to complain about the disgusting manner in which Jerry Jeudy behaved. He had absolutely no fear of consequence because he probably working with Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski is a person that will not quit. If I can't harass Shedeur, I'm going to get somebody else to do it. And why not Jerry Jeudy, the person I took up for last week after he stopped running the route and fumbled the ball? All he want to do is get the team negative yards while Shedeur is the quarterback. And here's the thing, right? At one time, a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it Myles Garrett, Jerry Jeudy, and Denzel Ward saying Shedeur is ready? So what did they go up to Jerry Jeudy and say? Because I already know they're working on Myles Garrett. I can see it. Everybody can. So what the hell did they say to Jerry Jeudy to get him to act like this? You see? This team is corrupt from the inside out. And one thing about today, Shedeur ain't the problem. These people don't want to win. They want to win with who they want to win with. And by I mean Stefanski and Tommy Rees, because I don't know about his play calling because it's trash. But see, here's the thing. Tommy Rees playing himself. But Kevin Stefanski want Tommy Rees to get the heat. Just like Ken Dorsey got the heat and got fired. Not saying they're going to fire Tommy Rees, but Stefanski said what? When it was time for Tommy Rees to call plays. I mean, if you played Madden, you could call plays. In other words, he ain't doing nothing. The game plan is still elementary. The game plan is still elementary. But understand, everything you see going on with the Browns is because Haslam, who took his little self out there to Ohio State with Andrew Berry in tow, his go fetch. Letting Andrew Berry know, I want you to get me one of these quarterbacks right here. I don't give a damn if you want to get another quarterback. It don't mean Shedeur ain't good because you want somebody else. It means you racist. And that's what you don't want to be. That's why you went and got Charles Woodson in March in 2024 after the Vegas Super Bowl. And somebody needs to investigate if that's why you overpaid Jerry Jeudy for underperforming, because he was never like that and he not now. All we see from Jerry Jeudy is underperforming. So you're going to pay him to underperform. Whose idea was that? Because the roster that Andrew Berry put together this year, everybody is applauding Andrew Berry for putting together the hungry dogs, the YNs. Is Jerry mad because he ain't? Obviously, he can't be trusted. And I'm very proud of Shedeur for standing up and saying in his press conference, we're not going to be able to just microwave this team together. It's going to take time. And it is. And he said it's a trust factor. Right. And we talked about that. We don't think he could trust Jerry Jeudy. Why would he? See, Jerry Jeudy don't want to have no consequences, but he signed up for the foolishness. See, he signed up to be an asset, and not in a way like a good asset, but like an asset with a mafia type asset. Somebody they could use, right? But now he mad. And see, I said this. When Dillon was the quarterback, I said, I don't know why he kissing his butt. He ain't going to get the ball, and he didn't. Once again, he ain't getting the ball, but he want to post up on Shedeur. Then he must didn't hear what Shedeur said. Coach Prime took them on the other side of the tracks so they could get that dog in them. See, he thought he could punk Shedeur because Shedeur grew up rich. Let me guess. Jerry Jeudy did not. He did not. And he feared no consequences. Andrew Berry should terminate his contract. Let somebody else pay it. This team can win, but Haslam don't want to. And that is why Stefanski still have a job. And that is why, when the heat is on Stefanski, that's why the toxic behavior has rolled over to the player that Stefanski has made excuses for and underperformance, Jerry Jeudy. They working together. They working together. There was no reason for him to even be back on that field after the things that he did. And Haslam hear us, but he don't care. Because he just want to get to his white QB savior. That's just what he want to do. He racist. If that's his behavior, he's racist. And just like the Washington Commanders was forced to sell, Haslam should be forced to sell. This is disgusting. It's disgusting for fans to sit out there in 33-degree weather with high winds to watch the Browns intentionally lose and hold back their own quarterback. And even when people call Stefanski out for sabotaging Shedeur, he's still doing it. He just want to pass the baton to Jerry Jeudy like we dumb. I done told these people we ain't dumb. Jerry might be, but we not. He dumb for agreeing to this. And the fact that he gonna pop off on Shedeur knowing he's on camera, I guess he thought he was gonna humiliate Shedeur. And now 10 million people coming his way. And he can't handle that. He ain't gonna know who to trust in his own circle because now they know who he is. See, that's one thing Jerry Jeudy gotta love. When you let people know you could be used, oh, they gonna use you. They gonna use you. And you ain't gonna even see it coming. So Shedeur handled himself well. He said, I'm just out here playing football. That's the best attitude he could have. Because they don't want to win. That's why when the family was saying they wanted him to get the yards, they wanted him to do this. He was like, just win. Just win. Because he knew. He knew I just need to win. I just want to win. And here's the thing. He don't even have to play for them no more. Everybody sees. People who are honest. Everybody sees Shedeur is not the problem on that team. Shedeur's stats were better than Brock Purdy's. People called it out in the game that Shedeur is better than J.J. McCarthy. I'm going to just ask. Name a quarterback that Shedeur is better than. First name, and last name. After today, name a quarterback that Shedeur is better than. See, they thought they could set him up in the game, right? But Shedeur keep escaping the trap. And he keep getting a touchdown that people like, we want more of this. And then they shut it all down like we can't see it. The second half was abysmal. Pay attention to whenever Shedeur make a touchdown. After that, they want to clap. They own team. That's corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, that is corruption. Fraud, racketeering, negligence, discrimination. And Stefanski, he ain't gonna never quit. He just gonna find somebody else for it to shift over to them because he can't do it. You know what somebody said? They said Stefanski got scared after everybody was on him. They talking about Stefanski was being bullied. I said, no. Stefanski wasn't being bullied last week. I said Stefanski was wrong and people held him accountable. That's why he didn't want to use the Wildcat like he did in the red zone. But did they get down there? See, all they do is what I said they do. Sit down 100 and more people every week to plot against Shedeur, led by Stefanski. Now, Jerry Jeudy has made himself a useful idiot. I told y'all Stefanski going to get everybody roped up. Jerry Jeudy's ignorant. He going to take the fall. Watch what I tell you. You know how I know? Because the media keep asking Shedeur about Stefanski and he won't take the bait. He call him out. Y'all being rude. I don't have a problem with nothing they call. We did a good run game. See, they want him to go cry in the corner because they know he got an arm like that. Because they know he tough like that. Remember, he was going to be their franchise QB. So here's the thing. Haslam going to have to answer to somebody. Maybe in a congressional hearing, in the Department of Justice, or to the goddamn news. If you was going to get him at number 2, you knew, you evaluated him to be good. But then you said he cost too much. His skill set wasn't worth the tag. But based on what we seeing, he's exactly a franchise QB. So is it that you didn't want him to be your quarterback because you wanted to wait until there was an availability of white quarterbacks? Because this will be the first year that there's possibly no black quarterbacks in the first round. And Stefanski was hired when the NFL started their social justice program in racism, where 3 black quarterbacks were being drafted in the first round year after year after year. That's not a coincidence. And now that that's over, we've taken in racism out the end zone. Shedeur would have been number 17 to 32 black starting quarterbacks. You see it right here, talking about he could end up on the practice squad. This kid is better than Dylan, Brock Purdy, J.J. McCarthy, Jackson Dart. They keep the handcuffs on him so you can't see it. But just like Shedeur did in the summer, he did the most with the least. He had the least amount of reps. He was still 70% or better. At one point in the game, he was 70% or better. Shedeur ended the game with better stats than Brock Purdy. Did you hear me say last year, Jerry Jeudy and Amari Cooper, I think, both had 1,000-yard seasons, but only won 3 games? And Deshaun Watson, through 7 games, got sacked 33 times. That's how he got injured, the stress on his body. And the insurance company is paying his salary. And they use Deshaun as a scapegoat to not get Shedeur, but they want to run out here and get a quarterback next year, and they still got Deshaun. So how you going to get a quarterback next year if you couldn't get one this year? If we took a big swing and missed with Deshaun Watson, so you don't want to get Shedeur, you get Dylan. So how the hell is it? Since you got Deshaun on your $46 million payroll, he going to be right there because you said he ain't going nowhere. You ain't even let him practice yet. So you want to keep him for safekeeping. So you just collecting black quarterbacks like infinity stones. So how the hell are you going to get a damn quarterback in the first round if you couldn't get Shedeur in the first round? Because he's white, so where there's a will, there's a way. Haslam needs to be forced to sell this team. This gross negligence is disgusting at this moment. And I said it, the longer Stefanski works there, everybody just going to get exposed. The moment somebody sit down and interview somebody on the inside, it is over. It is over. We already know everybody worked there got an email with Shedeur Sanders' draft phone number with a waiver wire, including the equipment managers, and they had Shedeur throw it to the equipment managers to make that prophecy come true. They were going to put him on a practice squad. We don't want you. We don't value you. So they want to mistreat him. They want to abuse him. They want to harass him. And since Stefanski got called out for it, I'm going to let Jerry Jeudy do it. What, you thought we wasn't going to say nothing because Jerry Jeudy black? Are you crazy? Shedeur is a cultural icon. Just yesterday, we said his journey is like Tiger Woods. And why did I say that? Because Shedeur Sanders was courted as the first black first-round franchise QB long-term to go to Cleveland. They've never drafted a black quarterback in the first round, ever. and miss me with how much money they paid Deshaun. Before you count Deshaun's pockets, I will tell you for the 400th times, there were white married players that gave Deshaun the information. And when they thought they was going to use that against Deshaun, surprise, and you know the rest. The complexion for the protection. Quid pro quo, you get Deshaun contract and I give you a stadium, look into it. There's a lot there. And it's disgusting how much has been allowed to go on. But Shedeur, he going through this way better than they anticipated. They thought he was going to cry because he was going to go undrafted. And did that happen? No. They got their franchise quarterback at a deep discount. They want to get a white quarterback next year, or even Mendoza. It don't matter because he ain't black. I'm going to kick you and abuse you because I don't want you. That's disgusting. That's James Byrd disgusting in terms of what they did to James Byrd in Jasper, Texas. Feeding black babies to alligators. Breeding slaves, disgusting, because you don't value Shedeur. So you want to destroy Shedeur. Why you just can't go to another team and you get the hell what you want? Why you got to destroy Shedeur? Because the quarterback you get not going to be better than Shedeur. And if they ever meet up on the field, you already know what time it is. You want to rig every game you have, and the fans are calling out, these games are so rigged. I thought it was just the NBA. So you want to tear down your own brand. That's what you're willing to do. You're willing to destroy your own brand. You to let Stefanski become a liability. Now people looking at you for keeping Stefanski around. And you need to be forced to sell your team. Okay. Every game, the truth will continue to come out more and more. The last game, it was Stefanski. Now it's Stefanski and Jerry Jeudy possibly working together. Now it's did Jerry Jeudy get his contract in 2024 when they knew 15 black quarterbacks was getting ready to happen? Because when Shedeur was hit October as #1 overall, that's when the Browns targeted Shedeur. So they got ready after the Vegas Super Bowl by getting Charles Woodson, targeting him, pigeonholing him to use at the right time in 2025. We not racist? No, that's exactly what you are. Because here's the thing. If you weren't racist, you would have traded Shedeur to another team. Didn't somebody come calling? Didn't somebody come calling and offer a 2nd round pick and a 6th round pick and you said no? And then you held him hostage past the trade deadline? He could have went on to another team. But no, you got to destroy Shedeur. And instead of stopping, straightening up and flying right, because Stefanski is a legal liability, now you want to pass the torch to Jerry Jeudy to act like a jackal on the sideline, and you thought we weren't going to say nothing because he black. You don't understand black people. And I keep telling you that. Stop thinking you know what we going to do. Jerry Jeudy going to get his. Because Karma going to always know his address. And if he wanted attention, he going to get it. He going to get it. Because you just heard me say Shedeur is a cultural icon on the level of Tiger Woods, on the level of who? Who sent Shedeur a text message today? LeBron James. Can you imagine somebody posted up on LeBron James? Matter of fact, a lady tried it right before this game. The Lakers were playing. And this lady, I don't know why she was spending money for these seats. She was sitting across from LeBron, who was clipping his nails. LeBron is a billionaire. She thought she could harass this man because he's a black billionaire. And he got her kicked up out of there. And you know what he did? He went back to clipping his nails. So we got Allen Iverson. Can you imagine Jerry Jeudy posting up on Allen Iverson, a cultural icon? You know how many people don't like that? Can you imagine Jerry Jeudy posting up on Tiger Woods, a cultural icon? Shedeur is a cultural icon. He's bigger than the NFL, and they know it. That's why they're working so hard to restrict him. They don't want him to get out here and play their game, like his mom said, 500 yards, because everybody know he could get it. But we don't want to see that from you. I mean, personally, I'm like, when Canada roll around next year, maybe just retire from this crap and go ball out up there so we can see it. Because fans want to see this young man play. Somebody posted, if you don't believe that Shedeur Sanders is already the face of this city, he went to a cookie place. They had Shedeur Sanders cookies. A cultural icon. And you thought you was going to get away with that. So see, you didn't get no consequence from Stefanski because you already know. I'm pretty sure y'all working together. I'm pretty sure y'all working together. And the cameraman thinks it too. But you're going to get this. You're going to get these consequences from the general public. Because I'm going to say it again. Shedeur is a cultural icon. How many players does LeBron tweet about? I don't know. How many players does the president of the United States twice take the time to tweet about with all the shit going on? I don't know now. So you want to buck his status as a cultural icon because you can't stand it, you crazy, or somebody paid you. Either way, you going down, bro. When I used to post everybody loves Shedeur, I wasn't kidding. Because the people that don't like people like Shedeur, so they don't count. Somebody else said it. I don't know a black person who don't like Shedeur. So you know you lost your rabbit mind. And I suggest you go find it. Because we're going to find it for you. You have embarrassed your family. And if you date somebody, I hope she leaves you. And take half your shit. Because that's what need to happen. Because she going to be embarrassed to be with you or she using you for your money. Because that's all you're going to have from here on out. Because everybody know you a sucker. Everybody. Because just 3 weeks ago, Shedeur was ready. Now you mad. But you ain't had none of this energy for Dylan, for Dilly Poo. You didn't have none of this energy for Flacco. And you sure wasn't worried about getting in trouble. And now you didn't expose yourself. Everybody today, I told you Jerry Jeudy was out. I told you Jerry Jeudy was out. I'm like, I said he was a buster last week. People calling him Judas. That's his new name. That's what he brought on himself because he wanted to volunteer and help out, or because he decided to pick up where Stefanski left off. I'm like, if Stefanski was in trouble, why do you want what you thought you was gonna do? You thought we was gonna take it easier on you? Shedeur is a cultural icon. That comes with a lot of backlash. A lot. Nobody respects Jerry Jeudy. We didn't even know him before this year. At least I didn't. Again, it's a lot of receivers out there. Hell, what's his name? Armand Ross St. Brown. Isn't he a receiver? Yeah. Tech, Jimmy Horn, LaJohntay, the guys over there, Brian Thomas over there in Jackson. Was it Jacksonville? Yeah. See, Jerry Jeudy wasn't on the list. I'm very proud of Shedeur for talking about what matters to him as a quarterback. He talked about trust and how it matters. He said it's not going to happen over time. There are people that believe that there's nothing that Jerry Jeudy does to build chemistry with Shedeur. That basically he just spends his time being animated and complaining, trying to make Shedeur seem difficult. And I believe part of the reason he thought it was okay to do so was because why? Because he makes $41 million guaranteed. But they don't look at him as the star of the team. They don't look at Jerry Jeudy as the star of the team at all. They look at Myles Garrett as the star of the team. And maybe that's a problem for him. Some people say they think he's jealous, right? They think he's jealous. I don't know if he's jealous or not. But what I do know is just that 3 short weeks ago, Jerry Jeudy, for the most part, said Shedeur was ready. And at a time where you could see they were working Myles Garrett, it seemed like they were starting to work Jerry Jeudy, right? They were starting to work him. So it seems to me that it's quite possible he has been enlisted to sabotage the team because why? Stefanski got called out for it. And for whatever reason, they wanted to continue. And that's why Stefanski still works there, right? So people are calling out Haslam. And I said, finally, that's who it needs to get to. It said Kevin Stefanski and his staff, it said, gave us, hold on, just make sure y'all can see the screen, that Kevin Stefanski and his staff gave us a masterclass in how not to coach. And somehow Jimmy Haslam keeps him around. And I'm telling you, this is the sentiment everywhere. People are side-eyeing Haslam because Stefanski is horrible. It's crazy how they work to lose. And people said he looked so relieved at the end. And I'm like, maybe this guy know where the bodies are buried, so they have to keep him around. But to be honest with you, why would you just rather lose than win? Is it because the quarterback is black? Look at what happened to Deshaun. Look, I can't let Shedeur get sacked 33 times. It's going to be a problem. Look at what happened to Jameis Winston, right? Look at what happened to DTR. Look at what happened to PJ Walker. Look at what happened to Deshaun Kaiser under Haslam's watch with a different coach. Black quarterbacks, they are not black quarterback friendly. Somebody said the same thing happened to Baker Mayfield. What is the difference between how Baker Mayfield has been treated? Did the media conspire, all parts of the media, including the team, to harass him, to make him look incompetent? But he sure got the hell out of there though, right? And he was allowed to move on with his career. Why these people won't trade Shedeur? Everybody knows Shedeur is good. Why nobody coming for Shedeur? If somebody already came for Shedeur and they said no, why after today wouldn't they feel some sense of duty to rescue this kid from a toxic environment because the owner has allowed gross negligence and Stefanski to run rogue? Here's the thing. What people don't know is they wanted to do what? They wanted to rescue Bryce Young. And I did a piece on Bryce Young. I did 2 videos on Bryce Young. When they benched Bryce Young, the Carolina Panthers benched him and thought nobody would say anything. And other teams was going, if you ask me, exact a hostile takeover of Bryce Young out of that organization because they said what they were doing to that kid was ridiculous. And guess who also spoke out for Bryce Young? LeBron James. He said, nah, this ain't on you. People are saying the same thing about today. They said, I hope Shedeur don't put his head down because this ain't on him. They blame special teams. I'm like, I don't know how you don't blame Stefanski and Tommy Reese because they clearly keep putting Shedeur in football jail when he actually scores a touchdown. And they don't want him to score a touchdown. They trying everything so he could be scoreless. His numbers were better than Brock Purdy. Let's see how many people talk about that. Let's see how many people talk about his numbers were like Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy still had the better, he said he still had the better game because Shedeur got sacked 3 times. I'm like, Shedeur could still only get sacked as many times as Brock Purdy, and they don't want to acknowledge what he said. So let's take a look.
Chance versus a good football team, and they had a drive start on the 16 after a big punt return that led to a touchdown. They had a drive start on the 18 after a muffed punt that led to a touchdown. They had a drive start on the 25 after a failed 4th and inches, led to a touchdown. A 4th and 1 on the plus 42 led to a field goal. So that's not the way to play a good team where you're giving them short fields. That's not the right. With our defense, we got to make them earn it, and I don't think we did that today. And that's on me to get it fixed. Listen, it's a good football team that you're facing, and guys fought their.
They weren't that good. They weren't that good. The defense, it seemed like they sold out. We said during the game that it seemed like the defense didn't know how to play in cold weather. They've been playing there. The defense could have sacked Brock Purdy multiple times, and it's like they chose not to. So he's talking about that's on me, which means he ain't gonna do nothing because he know why they underperform. Myles Garrett could have had more than 1 sack, and notice he didn't get that until the 4th quarter. Notice when they got to the 4th quarter, then they want to let Shedeur throw the ball. Like, do these people not see what's going on? And it's crazy how the backlash is coming at Stefanski. The backlash is coming at Jerry Jeudy. How long before it come at Haslam? Is this the week it comes at Haslam? So he's talking about he gonna fix it. He's speeding through everything, not giving them time to process what he's saying. He's a horrible person. He's a horrible individual. You have to be miserable to spend every waking moment trying to take down your own quarterback. Nothing but making excuses for the people who sold out the game. That's just always what it is. How many reporters asked about Jerry Jeudy? So Shedeur is coming up to the podium. Let's see if we can get him. All right.
How's everybody doing? I'm decent right now.
Or just how frustrating for you guys to have the mistakes and the turnovers that you had in this game and not be able to play this team?
Yeah, doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel at all good at all to be here in front of y'all, not on top, but it comes with it.
Shedeur, the pass to Jerry there, I think it was on the first series. Was that just, wind catching it a little bit? And on top of that, how much did the wind kind of impact some of your throws you feel like today?
I would say overall it's about spending time. It's about spending time in those situations and being able to gauge, so whenever you throw. So then at the same time you gauging the speed and time to distance and travel and everything. And I was just calculated off. That's all it was. It was just a miss. It was just a missed shot. So then when I missed that shot, I gotta stay on myself.
Done what?
Keep shooting.
He could have made an excuse, but did he? No, he didn't make an excuse. He could have made an excuse. He could have said, "Yeah, it was the wind." What did we point out in the chat? Somebody in the chat pointed it out. They said it's funny how the wind is a problem for Brock Purdy, but it's not. It's not a problem for Brock Purdy, but the wind is a problem on the Brown side. You see, and what did Shedeur say? It's about spending time. And people pointed out, has Jerry Jeudy spent any time trying to build chemistry with Shedeur? No, because all he been doing since he said when Shedeur was ready was being coerced into backing off Shedeur, and he fell for the bait. He fell for the bait and he exposed himself. That's why every time he run, he shake his head. People tell me he's a poor teammate to be acting like it's a problem. He didn't even give the benefit of the doubt that it was windy. Some people say he wasn't even running full steam. But did Shedeur make any excuses? No. Shedeur has proven that he's an elite QB1 that is on a crappy, corrupt, toxic team. And somebody need to come rescue this young man from this BS. Yeah, he's making it through, and he's doing better than probably most of us would, because we don't understand what it's like to be in a toxic environment every day. And it was good that he had the Thanksgiving break and he's around his family so he can be loved. He said it. I need love too. Right. He has to be loved on by other people. I said it last week. His saving grace is that he does have 10 million fans to stand up for him while they over there abusing him, harassing him, and leaving him in a toxic environment and creating and allowing a toxic workplace to fester. Jerry Jeudy lost his damn mind. This kid is a cultural icon because he's elite as an athlete and he's a great individual. This is what happened when you overpay people who not worth it. They start to believe the lie. I don't think he got paid for his services because he left Denver and he wasn't good. It's documented. I think the fact that his contract came around the same time after the Vegas Super Bowl, at the time where they had the owners meeting, I'm starting to think that Jerry Jeudy's contract was given to him at the same time that they decided to pigeonhole Charles Woodson to use for this year. Conversations can be proven. It's not $41 million. It's not $51 million. He's not even a team leader. He's an embarrassment. And that's who Stefanski recruited, potentially.
It was just a little ankle. Just a little ankle. But we good, though. We good. Yeah.
How would you assess the way you played today, Shedeur?
By wins and losses. Obviously, we lost, so I didn't play well. There's definitely things on film. I'm gonna look back and want to get back and want to see. But at least moving forward, I know what we could do differently going about the week and being able, to get fully prepared for every possibility.
Sure, you talk so much about just trying to get on the same page with everybody on the offense these last couple of weeks. How difficult is it when there's injuries and things that are sort of changing out pieces and parts along the offensive line for you throughout the game?
Life difficult in general, so that's not a big problem, I'll say, to me. I just got to be better overall. I got to be able to rally everybody together, when adversity is hitting, So even when I'm off, I got great teammates around me that's able, to pick me up and keep going. But I think overall, I just gotta have more of a role like that and be better at that.
How about your touchdown pass to Harold Fannin? Just kind of take us through that play a little bit.
Yeah, we practiced it, I'll say, for like 3-4 weeks, and we got the look. We got the look that we wanted, and we executed it.
Shedeur, what adjustments were made offensively at halftime? Because it seemed the second half was non-productive.
Not in what?
It wasn't productive the second half offensively. So were you guys trying to do things differently to adjust to what San Francisco was doing?
Nah, of course we was running the ball. We ran the ball very well, and when we got in certain passing situations and field position, everything like that, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. It was a comfort level. I think, like as players and as teammates, we have to be able to gel with each other and be comfortable with each other in every situation. That takes time. That takes a lot of things. So, this team is not gonna be a microwave thing. We're gonna have sparks. We're gonna have here and there, but it's gonna take time to be able to develop that chemistry with everybody, to be on the same page with Jerry. Of course, you want to be able to get him the ball, but you gotta understand it take time.
And that's facts, right? But see, here's the thing. When you have a coach that's trying to hold back the quarterback, there's no coach that's out there bringing the team together. See, the Browns, through Stefanski, trying to isolate Shedeur and people getting to know him and cheering for him and wanting to play for him, right? And they do this through coercion, right? I do this through gifts and favors and attention and this, that, and the other, right? Again, Jerry Jeudy and Myles Garrett at the same time said Shedeur was ready. And even Tommy Reese, and they have gotten all three of them to move off or stop sharing positive things about Shedeur or isolating Shedeur. Tommy Reese, Jerry Jeudy, and Myles Garrett. Denzel Ward, the only one I don't see any impact because I don't see him that much. Even Greg Delpit says, yeah, he's good out there. He brings the energy. Those guys could get away with it. But maybe with Jerry Jeudy being wide receiver 1 and Myles Garrett being the leader of the team and Tommy Reese being the OC, that was a no-no for them. And Jerry Jeudy is the one out of all three of them. Tommy Reese not right either. I mean, Myles Garrett, they just throwing attention his way. But I think Myles Garrett should have more sacks today. And then we have who? Jerry Jeudy, who acted like a plum jackal because he didn't fear any consequences because he knows Stefanski doesn't like Shedeur. That is the consequence of allowing Stefanski to turn that team into a toxic mess. That's why they're never going to be able to be on the same page because Stefanski is driving a wedge between everybody and Shedeur, and he did it all summer long. All summer long. And it's documented.
I'm more of a trust person, and that's just what it boiled down to.
Let me go back because this is when he talked about the trust.
To pick me up and keep going. But I think overall, I just gotta have more of a role like that and be better at that.
How about your touchdown pass to Harold Fannin? Just kind of take us through that play a little bit.
Yeah, we practiced it, I'll say for like 3-4 weeks, and we got the look. We got the look that we wanted, and we executed it.
Now, wait a minute. Did you notice that? Did you notice what he said? We practiced that for 3 to 4 weeks. Remember, he said it takes time. So what the hell did Jerry Jeudy be doing? Did you see how his smile lit up? Did you see what he said? Did you see what he said? We practiced that for 3 or 4 weeks and we executed it. And what did he say when it came to Jerry Jeudy? It's going to take time. So Jerry Jeudy not staying around to get it right? He don't think he have to do any work? What is his problem? So when Shedeur practices with these guys, it works. Now, Gage today, I felt just made a lot of mistakes. Don't know if it was because he was cold. He was frustrated with himself, right? But at the same time, Harold Fannin made mistakes today, but they got one right. And after they got it right, what happened? They shut down the offense, Pat Schumer style. That's what happened. That's what happened.
Good. Shedeur, what adjustments were made offensively at halftime? Because it seemed the second half was non-productive.
Not in what?
Wasn't productive the second half offensively. So were you guys trying to do things differently to adjust to what San Francisco was doing?
Nah, of course we was running the ball. We ran the ball very well, and when we got in certain passing situations and field position, everything like that, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. It was a comfort level. I think like as players and as teammates, we have to be able to gel with each other and be comfortable with each other in every situation. That takes time. That takes a lot of things. So, this team is not gonna be a microwave thing. We're gonna have sparks. We're gonna have here and there, but it's gonna take time to be able to develop that chemistry with everybody, to be on the same page with Jerry. Of course you want to be able to get on the ball, but you gotta understand it take time. I'm more of a trust person, and that's just what it boiled down to. So we have to spend time on task and with all those guys and be able to trust and be able to see things at the same lens. A lot of time out there, I would say, passing wise, we're not seeing everything at the same lens, or guys, certain guys aren't in the same spot that we seen when we practice.
So they not get to their spots. So what he's saying is we work on these things, but they not get to their spots. So I want you to know, I watched Shedeur on one play. I think he got sacked. He was looking for somebody to get open. People have already pointed out that the receivers can't get separation. So people think the receivers are trash. No. They're not trash. There might have been some mistakes made today. But listen to what he's saying. People not getting to their spots. We not on the same page. It takes time. They're not putting in the time. The ones that put in the time are the ones he can connect with. Why they not getting to their spots? You see? It's this type of conversation that needs to be had, right?
Spot, I'm saying, like, who lined up where, you know, if you put Jerry on this side, like, we just got to just be comfortable and just make everything consistent.
The patience that you need, the time on task with your competitive desire to do well and win every week.
I mean, well, I'm sure everybody's frustrated now, so I think we all, you know, I think it's easy for everybody to jump on board, you know. I think we all want to win. I think that's what Cleveland, I think that's what the coaches, that's what everybody wants to win. So, you know, I feel like we'll be able to do what's necessary to get that result.
So that's what accountability looks like, right? Accountability. All right. So that's saved on my X. That's on my X. If y'all want to see it, it's been retweeted, so you could go there and look. Okay, so here's what I heard, right? That's accountability. That's accountability. Yeah, Jerry gonna want me to get him the ball, but it takes time. We got to be on the same page. So what that tells me is, while Harold Fannin Jr. is staying and working, and Gage is staying and working, and maybe Isaiah Bond is staying and working and stuff like that, there are people, and Jerry Jeudy is one of them, they don't do that. And guess what? Stefanski's not ensuring that they get it right. You know why? Because he don't want to win. Shedeur say he want to win. You can see the players that want to win. You know who Corley is, number 83? He want to win. He want to win. Dylan Sampson, he want to win. Quishon Junkins, he want to win. Right? But Shedeur has the right attitude. I said it. These black quarterbacks in this league that get the start, they can't want anything but to go out there and love the game and play. Of course, I want to win. But just like Jameis Winston, when he almost had a game tied up about 2 weeks ago, I think, his wide receivers stopped running a route too. So that seems to be something these receivers are doing. They know what they're doing. It's not just happening to Shedeur. You have to look holistically at black quarterbacks and see what happened. But Stefanski came out quick and said Shedeur was going to start next week. I'm like, because you think you got him licked. You think you know how to shut him down because it worked today. Because you got Jerry Jeudy on your side. Because maybe you now have somebody else on your side. Because y'all know that if you mysteriously take out Wyatt Teller, if you mysteriously take out the center and put in 2 lesser talented people, Shedeur can likely get sacked. So Shedeur, while looking forward to likely playing Cam, and everybody's excited for this game, once again, Shedeur has to go back and game plan to beat the Browns before he can game plan to beat the Titans. Yeah. Once again, this kid has to beat his own team and some of his teammates. So instead of getting the O-line members roped up, I just take them out and put in lesser skilled people who Shedeur don't practice with because he practiced with the ones. So I'm going to just keep taking the ones out. You see how that works? Now he gets to practice with the ones, but in the game, I'm going to keep taking the ones out. Teller is a 1. Posick is a 1. And when they put in 2 other people, Shedeur was getting sacked because Shedeur don't practice with them. They're going to keep moving the goalpost. And it's all because of the sentiment they had in the draft. And I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying this. If you was going to get this kid at number 2 overall, why are you acting like he's not talented just because you couldn't afford it? Because you said you had Deshaun. But you finna run out here while you still have Deshaun and go get a white quarterback. We can see through the racism. No matter how you switch it up. We see when you keep mysteriously taking O-line members out that Shedeur practice with and put in other people and he start getting sacked because you want him to be sacked so people can talk about that. But instead, people are talking about his touchdown to Harold Fannin Jr. It's not working out but they keep trying. That's my whole point. Stefanski's in trouble, but he's a legal liability. But I'm going to shift that over to Jerry Jeudy. Now people all over him. So who's it going to be next week? Shedeur has to defeat the Browns every week. This young man is too talented for such a toxic, corrupt organization. And I hope that somebody come and rescue this kid and make him a QB1 so we can see some good football. Give a damn about the fans for once. We don't want to have to suffer through that second half of that game for 2 whole halves. Let me see what y'all are saying. All right. It says Shedeur is very intelligent. He is more than capable of being the franchise quarterback. Oh, yeah, he's definitely that. And it's crazy because you can see that they trying to hold him back. Everybody sees it. And people are calling it out all over the place. And people are calling out Haslam because Stefanski's a hot mess and he refused to let him go. So that's asking questions. This is what I meant by the longer Stefanski is there, the more people will get exposed. And we'd have moved from Stefanski to Stefanski and Jerry Jeudy potentially working together. Now we asking questions about, was Jerry Jeudy hired to be a problem at the same time Charles Woodson came in and was supposed to be an asset? So people wouldn't think they were racist. And Jerry is an idiot because you see how they protect the O-line? They don't want to let them be the ones to get the blame for Shedeur getting sacked. So they just take them out, the starters, and put in lesser talented people that Shedeur don't practice with. This kid has to beat the Browns every single week. They said the crowd booed when Dillon went out there. Probably so. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. It said they are trying to save face. Yep, totally agree. It said crazy. The season is quickly ending. This has been a crazy work, right? And they want to get to the end of the season with a same 1-5 record that Dillon had. That's what they want to do. It said, yeah, I like when Shedeur stood up. You can see Jeudy already back down. He did. He did. And you know how dirty it is to go up to somebody that's sitting down. See, standing up over somebody is a power position. And you see how he had the white gloves on and he was being all animated. And when Shedeur stood up, he backed off. And that's when 55 Posick, I think, came and got him like, hey, knock it off or whatever. You see how they came and got Jerry? Because he was the one acting like a fool. He ain't going to live this down. He got to be outside. He got to be outside. And I don't know anybody that don't like Shedeur, except for the idiots online who don't like black people being quarterbacks or having anything that they have, who just don't like black people, right? And that's who Jerry Jeudy has decided to align himself with, people who are racist. Okay. Yeah, people say he jealous. Yep. It said they don't like any of the other QBs at pick 2 this year. What do you think they're going to find in college this year? Right. And I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to run out. I think they're going to try to get Arch Manning to come out. I'm pretty sure. Do not be surprised if that kid entered the draft. Somebody posted his stats today and said the future is bright in Texas. They want that kid to come out. See, if Haslam was smart and clearly don't have an issue with a black quarterback, and you got this kid for a deep discount. Now, that's already wrong too, right? And I think that's another reason they don't want to put him out there because people going to say, y'all robbed him. I mean, we say that anyway, right? Shedeur will be my quarterback and get me in the playoffs. That way I can make my fans happy. They can buy some season tickets. Then next year, I'm going to wait on Arch Manning. So I'm going to let Shedeur run it back and we're going to win next year. But no, it's too important to tear down Shedeur to the point I'm tearing down my brand. My fans are boycotted. That whole upper deck was damn near empty. It was very sparse. And these people came out in the cold. And what you treat them to is a head coach that's using players to set up the damn quarterback for the team. That's what people paying for. That's why they boycotted. And that's why people saying Haslam need to be forced to sell. And he thinks it's impossible. It is not. It's not. It's just not. So he actually has a good game plan. And he can still get Arch Manning to 27 because I could just trade Shedeur. But it's more important to destroy Shedeur. For somebody to say Shedeur could have ended up on the practice squad because they were shocked that he went to Cleveland after they were going to get him at number 2? Why are you shocked? And what you should have asked is, how the hell you going to put a first-round player on the practice squad? See, they felt like because they pushed this kid down to 144, that meant that's where his talent was. No. And through 2 games and trash play calling, this kid has managed to still score. And when he does, they shut him down. That's all kind of nefarious activity happening in Cleveland. You could see it from the outside looking in. They spend too much time on how to shut down Shedeur Sanders. No winning strategy at all. How to shut down Shedeur Sanders between trying to keep him in the pocket, taking the starting O-line members out randomly, and then Jerry Jeudy. So it said Gage is a bust, y'all. I think he might be. I mean, that's what happens, right? That's what happens when you take somebody that was a walk-on and you develop them, right? Everybody should do a play with at Colorado. I don't think any of them were walk-ons. I don't know. Zay, I don't think he was a walk-on. I'm talking about in college. I don't know. I mean, Zay Weaver was a walk-on was he a walk-on? Was he a walk-on in Arizona? I don't know, but we know Travis not. LaJohntay wasn't. Jimmy wasn't. So everybody Shedeur play with is elite. I thought Isaiah Bond was going to get that ball, but I don't know what the hell was happening. It looked like the ball started tumbling, and I think it's because Shedeur got hit. And he's still, in the face of pressure, going to get that ball out, right? So that could have been another touchdown, but it's obvious, right? They held this kid back, and when the game was out of reach, okay, Shedeur, go ahead, you can throw the ball. But would there be any consequences? See, I'm solution-oriented. I'm looking for consequences. I'm looking for consequences for Jerry Jeudy embarrassing everybody, including himself, and harassing his own quarterback. And I'm looking for consequences for Kevin Stefanski, who should have been fired already. And I'm looking for consequences for Tommy Rees for such poor play calling, and to say we're not worried about wins or losses. We're worried about the process. But you keep taking people out the game. Oh, okay. Okay. You worry about the process. Everybody that stood up for Shedeur, they have gotten to. Everybody. I can't wait till this season is over. It said, would you please do a show on the likelihood of Shedeur Browns winning the remaining games? Sure. It won't take about 10 minutes, but okay. That's fine. It said he's a dog, like his pops in his prime. It said that's why they'll never face him. Right. And that's just facts, right? That's just facts. It said Tiger isn't a good example. Tiger says that's what he's saying now. But Tiger is a good example because when he came into the golf world, there is an interview with him being young, and they asked him if he thought he could win. And he said, yes, I think they could win. And they immediately began to pick him apart and call him arrogant. He was in a space that no Black person had been. Shedeur Sanders is QB1 franchise, was supposed to be first round, and they baited and switched him all the way up to 2 weeks before the draft. They need to pay for that. That's fraud. And now they act like he don't have the talent because they say they had Deshaun. That don't have nothing to do with that. And while Shedeur's there, people are taking a look at Deshaun again. Sacked 33 times through 7 games, and you're shocked he's injured? Did your O-line keep moving out the way so he could be injured? It's like they keep using the same tactics on every Black quarterback that comes through there. And they don't want to get caught or be called out or be called racist. I mean, if you keep doing the same thing to Black people, then you racist, right? It said, please hit the like button. Yes, thank you. It said every time they try to shut his play down, Shedeur does a big play that shows talent every time, right? And Isaiah Bond, I get the impression he really want to get it. I don't know. This is the second time. I don't know. But then Harold Fannin Jr. had 2 drops. Gage had 2 drops. I promise you, when the people analyze it, they all going to be saying basically the same thing. And they'll tell you, oh, those were very catchable balls, whatnot. So what does Shedeur say? It's about comfort. When it came to Jerry Jeudy, he said it's about trust. And Jerry Jeudy clearly not putting in the work to build some kind of, chemistry. And his contract is $41 million guaranteed, so I don't know what he's scared of. Shedeur is the first 5th round draft pick to lead all rookies in jersey sales. Yeah, because he's a cultural icon. It said exactly. Robert Kraft got caught up in happy places during every Super Bowl. They won all of this corruption. It said, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure. It said Cam Newton predicted that Shedeur was going to be sabotaged every game. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. It said Jerry needs to be investigated for recent strange large deposits or for the rest of his contract to be guaranteed. And you ain't gonna never see that. It said follow the money trail and you will see Jerry and Stefanski. That's what it's giving. They gave him something. They got to give you something, right? Myles Garrett got attention. You can see that. I mean, it's just plain to see, right? Myles Garrett got attention. And it's like the conversation went, look, we want you to be the lead. You the leader of the team. People look up to you. You play on defense. You can't be talking about the offense because you're not over there. He practically said that, right? Then you see his girlfriend and her whole family on the sideline. I have never seen that many people for one person, never on the sideline, ever, right? Then he's in GQ. They celebrate his sacks, but he only get one. I'm like, really, Myles? Okay. And then Jerry Jeudy, they didn't get Myles to act ignorant with Shedeur, right? They got Jerry to do it. And he decided to do it. Jerry thinks he's more important than he really is. It says Shedeur is exposing the lies and corruption on that team in the media every time he play a game. Every single time. It said has him as the ringleader. Yup, that's why I say he ought to be getting this. He ought to be getting it. He ought to be getting it. Yep. It said you're supposed to call plays to get your QB into a rhythm. In this case, they call plays to break his rhythm. That well said, Cameron. Well said. It said through all of the mess that happened today to Shedeur, the watch party today was lit. Thank you, Queen. You're welcome. We did. We had a good time, and I'm getting ready to schedule the one for next week. I already checked. We got the game. This is the game that we've been waiting for. Cam versus Shedeur, the rematch technically from college. But it seems like it's at 1:00, so we probably gonna be indoors again. It was fun, and I'm waiting on that one. I'm already waiting on that one. Shout out for the super chat. I appreciate it. Jimmy said, "Hello, I know Jerry Jeudy is with Kevin on trying to sabotage Shedeur." It said, "Have the nerve to get in his face, slowed down, and didn't even reach out for the ball, then fumbled on the last game. Buster." That facts. And I went back and looked at that play. You could look at Jerry Jeudy had already pulled up. See, my thing is, it's crazy to be guilty of something and then to go to somebody and harass them. You guilty. So here's what happened in the last game, right? He pulled up and slowed down. And then what? He knew what was going to happen. Fumbled the ball, etc., right? Stefanski made excuses for him. Facts. So he thought because Stefanski put him back out there that he was the chosen one and Shedeur was going to have to throw him the ball. Did you hear Shedeur in his press conference today say, I know he wants the ball, but it's a trust factor for me? That's huge. It takes time. It's about being comfortable. You got to do the work. So Jerry thought that going along with this, Shedeur was going to be forced to throw that ball that he threw to Harold Fanning to him. What did Shedeur say? Look how happy he was. Yeah, we've been practicing that for weeks, and we got it. I saw how they did the replay, and they showed Jerry Jeudy run the route in double coverage. I'm like, you really thought Shedeur was going to trust you? So let's see what happens now that Shedeur is on the record saying, I know he wants to get the ball, but it's a trust factor. We got to work together. So if you want this ball, you're going to have to come on out here and do some work. You know how huge it was for Shedeur to do that in the same press conference when he called out the reporter for being rude? He said, I'm not going to say anything about my coach's call. I thought what he did was fine. We just got to make it work. Somewhere inside, do not be surprised if Kevin Stefanski turned on Jerry Jeudy. That's how I go. Damn, Shedeur like me. He not trying to take my job. He didn't say nothing bad about me. He could try to get me fired. He didn't even try to get me fired or nothing. Mm-hmm. That's how I go. I remember when Shedeur was walking to the practice building one time, and Mary Cabot was out there doing an interview, and he walked by and he was like, yeah, yeah, and just kept going. She was like, oh, he liked me. Now, she's still two-faced. But you know what I'm saying, right? You could see that what Coach Prime taught Shedeur about people, what his mom taught Shedeur about enemies. Pray for your enemies, love your enemies. Let God do what he do. Don't worry about it. Don't be surprised if Stefanski starts to feel something like he has a heart. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised, right? He looked relieved that they lost. At the end of the day, they said his ego and his agenda is bigger. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy having the nerve to get mad, but he would have never did that to Dylan. The fact that he didn't fear any consequence from his head coach, Stefanski, tells me they're working together. That's what it tells me, that they working together. I'm like, people going to be like, can you prove it? I'm like, well, get me some discovery, and I shall. I shall. I'm like, because it's out there. It's out there because he, Tommy Reese, and Myles Garrett were all on the same page, and they all different now. They all are different. So, you know, they do what they need to do to keep them in line. I guess that's the term. But Shedeur is the one that's really free. The rest of them not free. Shedeur is actually free. He's actually free to say, hey, we got to get the chemistry together. It's the trust factor with me. I ain't throwing you the damn ball if I don't trust you. And Jerry Jeudy needs to accept that and sit down somewhere. Number 3 played himself. Facts. He did. It's that Tim Scott, Jerry Jeudy, and Candace Owens all in the same place. Yeah, that's now. I understand Tiger is different now because they got to him. But he wasn't like that when he started out. And he didn't deserve how the golf world treated him. We rocking with 12, win or lose. Facts. It said Jeudy turned off his comments and DMs. Facts. I'm like, he could turn off all the comments and DMs. He got to go outside in Cleveland. Cleveland is 42% black, and white people like Shedeur too. Like, bruh, like, let me show y'all what this guy said. Let me see if I still have it. This guy, he said, if y'all don't understand how people really like Shedeur, and then they showed the Muni lot, they showed it was people out there in the cold. It was still people out there, and people celebrating. You saw people with 12 jerseys on at the game, right? You still saw that. So let's see. Let's see if I still have it. It's somebody I had in here. Oh, there's Jerry Jeudy right there. It said Jerry Jeudy proved to be the most embarrassing wide receiver in the NFL during today's Browns loss. It said, just my thoughts on a player that seems understandably unhappy in his current situation. It's not understandable. It's just not understandable, right? It's not understandable for Jerry Jeudy to act like this. It says Shedeur Sanders has 2 starts. In those 2 starts, Jerry has 4 catches, right? He has 4 catches. And it says, hold on. Let me turn that off. It says he has 4 catches and Jeudy has 4 catches, 2 drop passes, and 1 fumble. It said through 10 games with Dylan and Joe Flacco, Jerry Jeudy had 28 catches with 8 drops and a lousy 2.8 catches per game average. And this is how he acts. And this is how he disrespects his QB. Right. And here's the thing, right? Jerry Jeudy act like Shedeur was supposed to still throw the ball to him, because last week Jerry Jeudy went up to Shedeur and hugged him after he stopped running on the route and fumbled the ball. I said, oh, he a snake. He think I'm going to mess up out here and mess it up for you, and I'm going to come smile in your face. And who else he see doing that? Stefanski. If Stefanski put his hand on Shedeur one more time, I'm like, you ain't even want to say the kid name. Now you keep touching on him. Performative. So Jeudy is doing what Stefanski is doing, which is why I said it's on Haslam, because Stefanski has created a toxic culture, and Haslam has allowed it to fester to one embarrassing situation. And I bet, let's see if Jerry Jeudy gonna start next week. See, he thinks Shedeur got to throw the ball to him. I ain't hear nobody correct Shedeur about throwing the ball to Jerry Jeudy. I ain't hear nobody say that at all. So Shedeur basically stood up for himself where Jerry Jeudy was concerned, and who to throw the ball to was concerned. It said Browns finally get a QB capable of running the offense. Check. It said special teams promptly give the ball away every opportunity they get. Now, that's true. It said, all we're asking is you give Shedeur Sanders a chance to be successful. And here's the thing. They're not going to do that because that's coming from Haslam. And Haslam is an owner, and the owners took Shedeur off the board. So they stick it to the script from the draft. Understand, that's what's going on. So when Ben Crump called it out, he said Shedeur Sanders worked for his moment. He earned his respect. Facts. It said, yet the louder he rises, the louder the criticism goes. It said that is how this country treats young Black excellence. We celebrate it in theory and punish it in real life. Nobody out here at this moment in time should think that the way the Browns are trying to lose with Shedeur as a quarterback who is more than capable of winning, which is sacrificing the whole season and robbing your fans of what they paid for. Understand this. This don't have shit to do with Coach Prime. What about today has anything to do with Coach Prime? What about choosing to lose? What does that have to do with Coach Prime? What about robbing your fans to the point that they boycott and stay home? What does that have to do with Coach Prime? Nothing. The common denominator is Haslam allowing all of this, which as I said is gross negligence, because he's an owner, and the owners took Shedeur off the board, which is why I find it very interesting that one of those owners let Coach Prime sit in his suite last week. Yeah. Not on the Cleveland side, on the opposing team side, which is way different. Something's happening. It ain't happening fast enough, but something happening. They need to get rid of Stefanski. I mean, I feel like they're going to wait to the end of the season. It said, I didn't know him either. Jerry Jeudy, yeah, we don't know you. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm like, he really is crazy. When I tell you people going off on him, he really is crazy. I'm like, Jerry Jeudy, you know you got to go outside in Cleveland, right? You know this is Shedeur City. Like, these people love Shedeur. Black, white, it don't matter. I don't think they segmented to one part of Ohio either. That's crazy. That's arrogance. He think he could do what Stefanski does. And this is on Stefanski. Whether he asked him to do it or not, or Jerry Jeudy see it happening, and he thought, I could abuse Shedeur too. Okay. It said, never heard of him. He's not really a one. He's not a wide receiver one. And it needs to be investigated as to why they paid him as such. And the timing is very, very interesting because it came right around the time that they have that owners meeting. So, it said, when I saw Judas today, I said he will go down like Judas in the Bible for turning on the Son of Christ. Yeah. It said, yep. And what did Coach Prime say? He got to get rid of some Judases over there too, right? I hope he get all of them. It said Jerry will definitely be getting flamed this week for sure. Yep. Lit all the way out. So sounds like he hadn't been coming to build chemistry. And then he out here dropping the ball. He stopped running on his route and doing all this nefarious activity. But he mad because Shedeur won't trust him. Are you crazy? Shedeur would be crazy to trust Jerry Jeudy. I knew when Harold Fanning caught that ball and Jeudy ran over to Harold Fanning and was at a ball. I knew he was pissed off. He should have been. Why would anybody trust you? He don't have to trust you. Apparently, because didn't nobody say nothing wrong. They didn't go, ooh. They didn't like, ooh, I'm going to tell Stefanski. I think a lot of people watched that Thanksgiving video. I think a lot more people watched that Thanksgiving video than y'all realize how hard Shedeur works. That don't mean Haslam want to still keep a black franchise quarterback. It don't, right? It just doesn't. And I don't care if you don't. You don't get to destroy this young man at all. And that's why they messed up. Because it's documented. It said, I don't know why Jerry thought that Shedeur wouldn't stand up to him. He must didn't see Shiloh punch that white boy in the face. Yeah, he didn't. And I thought about it. I'm like, oh, is he trying to bait Shedeur in? It said Jerry Jeudy showed he about to be embarrassed by the fan base. Yep, he sure did. It said there are some that don't like Shedeur. They are Jason Whitlock. They could be. That could be. It said, what is Jerry gaining for trying to attack Shedeur publicly? He has a lot of nerve. I'm telling y'all, this comes from last week. This is from last week when he stopped running that route. That ball got fumbled. At some point, I saw him put his arm around Shedeur, and I said, oh, Jerry Jeudy is taking Shedeur's kindness for weakness. That's really what it is. Because why? He don't fight back. It's just like Jesus. Like, you know, they spit on him. They did this, that, the other. He just kept it pushing. It's the same thing. So they thought, I could taunt you because you're weak. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to hit me because you don't want to lose your job and get kicked out like Shedeur or Shiloh. That ain't even his personality. That's not even his personality. And when Shedeur stood up, what did he do? He leaned back because he thought he was just going to stay sitting there and let him holler at him because he know how Stefanski been treated Shedeur publicly. And he thought he could do it too. Because last week, Stefanski was touching on Shedeur after he took Shedeur out the red zone twice. And Jerry Jeudy went hug Shedeur after he stopped running the route and got the ball fumbled. They working together. They working together. Stefanski can't set up Shedeur like he used to and be brazen and bold. I have to get people. I don't want to get this just like Deshaun Watson. I don't want to get the white guys in trouble that were married, that gave Deshaun Watson the contact information of the ladies. So I'm going to get somebody else to do it, right? I'm going to call out. I don't want to get them in trouble. So I'm going to just keep taking them out the game randomly. Like if there was some kind of organization that truly was going to do something about fraudulent sports leagues or sports teams, this is the one to call. But the question is, would they even do anything? So because Shedeur was pushing past all of it, they felt like they could taunt him and continue to harass him and disrespect him publicly, which is intentional to show people how weak they think you are or that you really are. Oh, he ain't really that tough like that. Shedeur has been robbed. He's been abused by Stefanski all summer long, dismissed by his own head coach, sabotaged by his own head coach. And when his coach get in trouble and becomes a legal liability, he enlists the talents and the ignorance of Jerry Jeudy. Because I can no longer do it, but it has to continue. So now Jerry Judy's in trouble. So who's going to be next week? This is why there are 0 black offensive coordinators in the NFL. This is the white man's secret in the NFL about how they disparage and devalue black quarterbacks. That's why there are no black OCs, because we ain't going to keep that secret. It said Jeudy needs to man up. Don't turn off your comments. Right, because you got to go outside. It said, somebody said I'm going on his IG right now. It said JJ get inflamed. It said it's all over the internet, streams, his social media. Yeah, people not playing. If you don't like Shedeur, that's your fault. Facts. It said Jeudy wanted Shedeur to lose his cool. Shedeur checked him the right way. Yes, I'm like, did he not hear them say Coach Prime took them to the other side of town so they could learn, play football over there and get that dog in them? You know what people saying? Jerry Jeudy really thought that because Shedeur is professional at work, that he could punk him. I said that last week. I said, oh, he think he weak. Oh, okay. And then what he do this week? Yeah. These people on other teams don't like that either. They don't like that either. They don't like him. It said when Shedeur stood up, though, I didn't know what he was going to do. It said, yeah, number 55 squashed everything. He said, come on, Jerry. He pulled them to the side. He said, let the big dogs eat. Right. And remember what Shedeur said. The hungry dogs, some of them haven't made the travel squad. They got some of them. They haven't made it yet. I don't know what they're going to do about Gage next week. Harold Fanning Jr. again dropped 2 passes. I think what they do is they get him around the arms, and it just seemed like his hands just come loose. I don't know. But it seems like to me in the second quarter, they hit a switch and nobody could do anything. And I don't know why the reporters are asking Shedeur about the adjustments. Why you don't ask Tommy Rees? Why you don't interview Tommy Rees and ask him? Why you don't ask Stefanski? So Tommy Rees is conveniently missing? Come on now. It said, yeah, we lost connectivity. I had to come back. It said them goons in Cleveland and Florida gonna see Jeudy. He bet not come outside. I'm telling you. I'm like, bruh, when I tell you, somebody else said it. They said, I think all black people like Shedeur. I don't know one black person that don't like Shedeur. And when I say Shedeur is a cultural icon, I'm talking about our culture. And our culture reigns supreme in this country. Everybody knows that. That's why hockey, the draft is so many black people. Honestly, I think everybody knows that, right? Again, LeBron don't come out too much. The last person I do remember is Bryce Young, and it was not Bryce Young's fault. I love the way Shedeur handled himself with Jerry Jeudy. He stood up. He's like, hey, who you playing with, bro? And then Jeudy want to back out. I'm like, so you just thought you was going to punk him? That's what you thought. That's what you thought. That man is not respected by anybody. I can promise you that. He's not respected by anybody. It said Jeudy wanted him to go off the script and throw it to him. He wanted, it said he wasn't in his spot. That's why the pass sailed over. It said Jeudy slowed down when he was probably trying to make Shedeur throw a pick. Right. He mad. And you know what? He mad because Shedeur is not continuing to throw him the ball. This is why last week he went over to Shedeur after he fumbled that ball, stopped running on purpose. He put his hand around him so Shedeur could still trust him. But this week, Shedeur like, Because see, last week, that was a pass that Shedeur could have thrown to the right side, and he did just like this, and he threw it to Harold Fanning Jr. Yep. So Jeudy is mad because of the actions. These are the consequences of his actions. See, he thought they was going to force Shedeur to keep throwing to him. No, they just put you out there. When they rotated through 6 quarterbacks, we talked about it. I say, is that good? 6 receivers. I'm like, is that good? And we were like, yeah, because it keep the ball away from Jerry Jeudy. And running the ball made sense. Why? Because Shedeur didn't have to throw to Jeudy for him to throw the game so much. So when you heard Shedeur say, we ran the ball real well. See, Shedeur just got to get touchdowns. Well, he don't need 5. He ain't even worried about the yards. He just want to win. And he iced Jeudy out justifiably so. Jeudy don't have no reason to be mad at Shedeur because he keep fumbling the ball. He keep dropping the ball. He keep stopping on his route. He not getting to his spots. That ain't on Shedeur. You a buster. And you thought you was going to get away with being a buster because then people psych you out when they gave you $41 million guaranteed. You better pay your taxes because you're going to go broke because he's not smart. He not smart. This your quarterback. You can't do this to no quarterback in the NFL. And you wasn't going to never do it to Dylan. And you wasn't going to never do it to Flacco. But you thought you could get away with that shit with Shedeur. A cultural icon. A LeBron. A Allen Iverson. A Tiger Woods. Are you out your damn mind? Just like that woman thought she was going to punk LeBron, a billionaire, at a game because she paid too much money for some damn tickets. You see how people act entitled? That's what Judas was doing. Acting entitled. Like, oh, you got to throw me the ball. No, he don't. They didn't hire you for you to be wide receiver 1. They hired you to be a nuisance to the team, to hold it down this year because they had already targeted Shedeur. They knew he was coming out. Just like they targeted Charles Woodson, they targeted Shedeur, they targeted Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to need somebody. Not a coincidence Stefanski made excuses. Not a coincidence they keep putting him back out there. He mad because Shedeur don't have to throw to him. So he sold his soul for nothing. And Dylan wasn't wide receiver 1 with Dylan. I pointed that out numerous times. But you want to post up on Shedeur. Oh, okay. You about to learn. You about to learn. It says, Jerry isn't a star. No, he's not. We don't know him. It said Shedeur also talked about trust tonight. So Jerry Jeudy will understand when he does. Yeah, he's not getting no pass. Yeah, he's definitely a bust. Definitely a bust. And he's jealous. Yep. It said Jerry is jealous of all of the rookies. I think so. I think because the rookies have bonded, because when the rookies play in the game, they ball out. I'm like, you got $41 million and you didn't earn that. They got to pay you $41 million no matter what. And you didn't even earn that. So if I was you, I would just take my money and shut the hell up. Until they figure out a way to void your guarantees. Because remember, they have a clause this year. If you have any on the field behavior, they can void your guarantees. They was on the field, wasn't it? By the side of it at a game. Yeah. Let's see. You never know what Andrew Berry might come up with. I'm on this channel instead of somebody else. It said, I'm loving seeing you continue to do your thing. Thank you so much. It said, who is next? Who is that next to Haslam? Yeah, I don't know. That could have been the D Podesta guy. Coming at Shedeur is about to be the biggest mistake. The biggest media week mistake of his. Yeah, he messed up, bro. It's over for him. As long as the 49ers covered the spread, the NFL do not care. And did they? It said this is nothing short of a modern day lynching. Good grief. Yep, that's what it is. It says Shedeur's stats are just as good as the vets he been playing against. Right. And see that right there. What was happening when we were live? I was reading out for X. Shedeur is better than Brock Purdy already. I mean, JJ McCarthy. Shedeur's stats are better than Brock Purdy's stats. People knew. They said Shedeur gonna, you know what people said before this game? Shedeur gonna carve up the 49ers. Surprise, they lost. Every meeting that they have had between the two teams, the Browns won, I think. I think that's what I looked up. The last 4 meetings, the Browns won. Surprise. And here's what they want to happen. They want people to say, Shedeur's not better than Dylan. Well, maybe we should go back to Dylan. And some people like, oh, maybe we'll get to see Deshaun Watson. I'm like, they ain't even let him come back to practice. No, they ain't even let him come back to practice. He got to come back to practice for 21 days and they can decide we want to add him to the roster unless they're going to skip the process. I said, all they're going to do is put him out there next year and let him get hurt again so the insurance company could pay his salary again. Somebody need to look into that. Negligence, 33 sacks, 7 games. This is on whoever called 3 passing plays the entire second half. Right. And guess what? We saw how many drives were nothing but running the ball. And when they got to the end, they were like, Shedeur, you could pass the ball. That's probably where the 3 passes came at. The fourth quarter with 1 minute left. Because I know he threw one right across the middle, I thought, to Harold Fannie Jr. Yep. The play calling was straight sabotage. Yep, and everybody can see it. And guess who's going to take the blame? Tommy Reese. Just like the OC got fired last year. It said, I think special teams sabotage and took the foul. So the attention wasn't on Kevin's play calling or was on Kevin's play calling. Shedeur just needs to get the hell out of there. It said Browns are the hell. Yep, they are. It said Brock Purdy, a.k.a. Mr. Irrelevant, and Shedeur's better than him too. It said, who is that guy standing next to Haslam? Is that his son? He looks like the guy who was mean mugging Shedeur on the sideline when he was talking to Andrew Berry. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I hate to say it, but I don't know who that is. It said, hope Shedeur keeps mentally safe. I think he's on the other side of it. I think he's on the other side of it. And what I mean by that is, look at his demeanor, his tone, and he held his own in that conference. He didn't bite his tongue. Well, I'm going to throw Jerry the ball. I'm going to try to do better. He didn't say that. He said, it's about trust. We're not going to microwave this. He said, it's about trust for me. He said, I know he wants the ball, but, we got to build something. You can't just get out there and expect it to happen. So, in other words, it ain't going to happen no time soon. And if Stefanski don't force Jerry Jeudy to go to practice, then sounds like Shedeur ain't got to throw him the ball to me. I mean, what you going to do if you don't have chemistry, right? You should have been working on that. When you stood up and said he was ready, you should have been working on it. I mean, we thought you was cool with it, but you just showed us that you have lost your natural mind. Shedeur is a cultural icon. I cannot stress what the hell that means enough. LeBron James, Shedeur Sanders, Allen Iverson. Bigger than the sports that they play. And yet somebody tried LeBron and he a whole billionaire. You can't even get close to a billionaire like that without spending about $10,000 on a seat, and you took the time to spend the money to show up thinking you was going to harass LeBron and they wasn't going to kick you out, they kicked her out of there. She really thought she was entitled because she spent probably $10,000 on a ticket to sit next to the Lakers bench, that for whatever reason, she thought she could get away with harassing LeBron, a billionaire. This is Jerry Jeudy's problem. He's entitled. He thinks somebody owe him something because they messed around and overpaid him for his services. But I think just like Charles Woodson this year being utilized to say we're not what, it seems to me that Jerry Jeudy was paid for this year. What happened to the other receiver that was in 1,000 yards? What happened to Amari Cooper? Why they didn't keep him? Why they didn't keep him? Both of them were in 1,000 yards. Why would you get rid of them? Honestly, it's a real good question. Anybody know where Amari Cooper is? It sure does look like him. Yeah, I don't know who that is. It said the play called on the 4th and 1 was Sabotage. Yep, sure was. And they asked, did they ask Shedeur about that or did they ask Stefanski? He blew through his press conference so fast because he didn't want to answer no question. Skip said he feels Cleveland should have won. Everybody knew Cleveland could beat the 49ers. Now watch Miles sack the hell out of Cam next week. Facts. And there you're going to have your answer. You will have your answer. It said Jerry Jeudy is Jim Crow on the field, or should I say in the field. Step and fetch it. I totally agree with that. That's exactly what he was given. He was given Stephen from the Django. Like, I'm happy to be chosen, and this was Candyland. Like, every now and then you're going to run into people like that. And I hate to say it, but that's what the league looks for. See, that's who they thought Travis was going to be until Travis asked for his money. Then they got mad. They didn't think he was going to ask for his money. They thought if they put him in front of Shedeur and they hurt Shedeur's feelings, that, ooh, he'll come on our side. That ought to tell you that that's how they curry favor. Your contract, your guarantees, your signing bonus. Until you ask for what's right. You know, you're not useful when you ask for what they owe you. That's why they were underutilizing Travis. That's why they started the narrative talking about, what did they say? That the Jaguars got fleeced. No, here's what the Jaguars got. The Jaguars traded that pick because they wanted Travis. Or so they act like, but they didn't play like they really wanted him. But they went up to Andrew Berry at that same meeting this year in Minnesota in March and talked about a trade. And of course, Haslam was like, well, yeah, because I can get me another quarterback next year. So he came up with the lie that it was because of Deshaun. But Deshaun's still there. Did you forget the lie you told? Because now you want to use and get another quarterback while you still got Deshaun. And he going to get called out for that. And as you can see, everybody worked to make sure Shedeur was not QB1. Locking him out of the first round. Pushing him down to undrafted until a phone call. And he goes 5th. And they thought that was enough to say his talent wasn't good. But it's not. Because he made it back to QB1. The reason why I say he's on the other side now, he gets it. He like, I just like playing a game. I'm not about to say, that's rude. That's rude to ask me about my coach. I'm not saying nothing about my coach. Whatever play he called, we're going to make it happen. You got to play the game if you want to win in this league. I'm pretty sure that was probably a message at some point from Jalen Hurts or Russell Wilson. It don't take no skin off your back to let these people know. That's rude. That's speaking up for himself against reporters who were harassing him. Everybody has harassed Shedeur. They thought he could because they didn't value him and they didn't want him. And because they see Haslam do it or because they see Stefanski do it. Jerry Jeudy thought he was entitled to do it too. He'd have learned. And he should have learned because Stefanski already can't do it no more. He already in trouble. He got to get a patsy so somebody else could do it. And that's who Jerry Jeudy is. And that makes him a village idiot. A useful idiot. An asset. Something they could use and discard. Look at Kevin Stefanski. He does. He looks relieved. He did look relieved. He really did look relieved. People said it. People really said it. It said, do the damn thing. Thank you so much. It said Kevin Stefanski will go down in history as the greatest saboteur. Yeah, I agree. And see, they don't think about the long term. They don't think about the damage they do to their family's reputation. They don't think about their wives that got to go out here, their girlfriends. Don't nobody want to be proud to use the last name Stefanski or Jeudy right now in Cleveland. If you go to a restaurant, they want to know, what's your last name? Smith. I would not tell nobody. All the people that was proud, yeah, Jerry Jeudy, my cousin, they don't want to say that. They don't want to say that. They don't want to say that. And they're not saying it. And Stefanski too. I know his family embarrassed, unless they like him. If his wife is different and she like, I ain't signed up for this. They got kids. See, first he was currying favor with Dylan to act ignorant, saying stupid stuff about Shedeur. You see, now it has shifted over to Jerry Jeudy. Why? Because Dylan is a non-factor. So I need Jerry Jeudy to underperform so I could get Dylan back. Why is it so damn important that you get Dylan in a game? He not good. It's like he owes somebody something. You would think the mafia was after him. I'm talking about Stefanski. The only reason he wants Jerry Jeudy to underperform is so he could get Dylan back in the game. People just knew they were going to put Dylan in the game next week against the Titans. He came out lickety split. Shedeur going to start next week. I'm like, whoa. Let's see if Jeudy start. Let's see if Jeudy do the work this week because the reporters will be looking. It says, shout out to the center, number 55, who has Shedeur's back and pushed Jerry off. Yep. Jerry out of his damn mind. It said Jeudy could have shortened his route too. He could have. He could have tried to make it. How long did it take him to look back to see what the ball was? They're saying Shedeur has Stefanski's back during the press conference. I don't know if it's so much he had his back. I'm going to tell you what people really say. He don't have his back, but he not throwing him under the bus because he going to get fired if he do. Shedeur is not dumb by any means, right? By any means. He told the reporter, you rude. You asking me about my boss's decision. I'm not saying nothing against my boss. Yeah. See, here's the thing about Stefanski. Stefanski knows he's not a good coach. He knew this with Baker Mayfield. He knew this with everybody else, Deshaun, which is why he tried to break Deshaun down to a game manager. The game plan today was for a game manager. Stay in the pocket, hand off the ball. Stefanski lied. He said, yep, the game plan going to be tailored to Shedeur. No, it's not. And why? Because we want to contain his greatness. That's why they messed up. We already know who Shedeur is. We already see you sabotage him. It's documented. And yet they won't stop. He just going to use Jerry Jeudy to underperform so I could get Dylan back out here. And Jeudy mad because Shedeur don't trust him. So basically you busted. You have screwed yourself for the rest of the season because Shedeur ain't throwing you the ball. You might get a little short slant here or there, but you damn sure wasn't getting that long dot that Harold Fanny Jr. got, and you mad. Consequences, my brother. You thought there were no consequences from Stefanski to disrespect Shedeur, but Shedeur laid down them consequences and didn't throw you the ball, and ain't nobody saying nothing about it. Nobody's saying, well, you got to throw the ball to Jerry Jeudy. No, you don't. Nobody corrected it at all. It says Shedeur should not throw to Jeudy. Hell no, he shouldn't. We wanted to see if he was going to start, and he was out there on play number 1. Shiloh, take care of this. Yeah, where is Shiloh? Did y'all see him today? Did he put out a video? I saw 55 not blocked for Shedeur too. He not off the hook. Yep. It said, yes, Miss Pamela, he did have standing back unlike them. Okay, they having a conversation. It said Jeudy needs to get off that fence. Oh, you think he on something? You think he on something? Yeah, I think he definitely on something. How you doing, Dante? How you doing? It said, Miss Pamela, it said, okay, another conversation. I love how y'all have conversations. Keep going. It said, grand evening, what she said, sports to chat. Shedeur is always a professional at all times. He handles the media like his father, Primetime 2.0. True leader of men. Keep your head up. Totally agree. Totally agree. And you know what? He just really wanted to win. And I don't know what they expected him to say when they asked him what kind of game you had. He said, well, we lost. So, I didn't play good. They don't expect that. I don't know who they thought this kid was. But here's the thing. They didn't take the time to get to know him. That's the problem. So they prejudged him. I'm like, his nickname is grown. But they were all surprised by that because they didn't get to know him. They said things like, well, Shedeur wanted to go as high as he possibly could in the draft. I said, whoa, I thought this was based on skill and everybody got slotted because you this good, you elite, you superb. No, that's not what it is. It's almost like they're trying to say it's the auction. And you got to do certain things to go number one. What did Cam do? He have no agent, but they didn't care about that. They cared about hurting Shedeur. And the reason I say is because he's number 17. Because they still doing it, and it has nothing to do with Coach Pryor. Nothing that happened today. Jerry Jeudy, Stefanski calling a game manager game, Tommy Reese keep putting all these players in it. That had nothing to do. Shutting down the offense, that's Pat Schumer. That don't have nothing to do with Coach Pryor. You gonna you gonna lose? You gonna piss your fan base off because of Pat Schumer? Oh, okay. I'm gonna see how that work out for you. That still ain't got nothing to do with Coach Prime. Because Shedeur had to do what? Call his own plays to make something happen because he wasn't going to let Pat Schumer do what he did this year. Last year. Yeah. Facts. He would not allow Schumer to tear down his father's program after letting the other one doing it. So he stopped the gap. And look at how they punished him in the last game. And if Stefanski think that that's what he doing, that ain't why the owners took Shedeur off the board. That ain't got shit to do with Coach Prime. But if Stefanski, because of his relationship with Schumer, thinks that's what he doing, he gonna learn the hard way. You better let Schumer deal with the problems that he created. Because hurting Shedeur, a cultural icon, there are national boycotts happening out here. I saw people in front of a Target boycott. I'm gonna remind you, the NFL don't make the kind of money that Target does. And I want you to understand, you see how people are fanatical about the NFL in 33-degree weather? There are people who are fanatical about Target that have not been back since the boycott started because they tried to slight Black people. Like the Browns are trying to do to Shedeur because he's Black. Let that get out and let people come to that full understanding of what's going on. No media will be able to save Haslam. It said, I think Bucky said he wasn't able to film the game from his last post. Yeah, he said when he was walking in the snow, he said this was like his off game. So apparently they have some type of schedule. He said this was his off game. So I was like, so what happened last week when Shedeur got robbed? I still want to know, because if this is your off game and you still can do pre and post, what happened last week? I don't know. But he said his dad wanted him there. So maybe last week the dad wanted him to stay. Y'all alluded to that. Y'all said y'all thought it had something to do with Coach Prime. But he said my dad wanted me here. So since I'm actually off this week, I can do pre and post. So I can't wait to see some of that footage. I've seen a little bit of it. We have 400 people. Shout out to y'all. 429 people. Way to go. Okay, I'm going to say this right now. I'm getting ready to schedule the watch party for Cam versus Shedeur next Sunday, December 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to probably advertise it all week. I want this to be huge. I want there to be over 1,000 people because this game is where Shedeur gets to have fun playing against Cam. Now, I know they're going to set Shedeur up and they probably got to figure out which Black quarterback they want to win. Right? And they don't know which one to cheat. But we already know something. Shedeur can make something happen with absolutely nothing that they give him. With this much, he can still make something happen. And they might want to embarrass Shedeur in front of Cam. So Shedeur, people don't say, see, he should have been the number one pick. Understand, there's a play here. But the point is, he likes playing the game. He can make something out of nothing. And while they keep trying to embarrass him lately, it don't work. It keeps backfiring on them. They keep getting exposed. I want to celebrate this game because these two are friends, right? And yeah, Shedeur should have been number 1 overall, and Cam could have went to the Browns, but then they wouldn't have Coach Prime to blame. They don't know Cam Daddy like that. He don't have a story that would fit. So Coach Prime was just a scapegoat. What happened in Cleveland today was Cleveland choosing to lose because I want to win with Shedeur because I want to get a white quarterback next year. Plain and simple. It's disgusting, but it's not complex. So I want to celebrate the game next week. So turn your notifications on so y'all can get the invite and we can have a fun watch party next week. I already got a song planned. I already made a snippet of Backstabbers by Southern University, and I want to use that to play in the game when they start setting Shedeur up. So we're going to have fun next week. So y'all turn your notifications on. All right, I'm going to go through a few more comments and I'm going to get out of here. It said the world is round. What goes around comes around. Well said. Well said. Still very proud. Yep, I'm proud of Shedeur. It said Shedeur's stats was better than Aaron Rodgers. What? And he was better than Brock Purdy. So before we get out of here, do me this favor. Name a quarterback that Shedeur Sanders today was better than. Name a quarterback. Shedeur's stats were better than Brock Purdy's. Right? Remember, all last year, Jerry Jeudy and Amari Cooper both had 1,000-yard seasons, but they lost and only won 3 games and lost 14. When you have receivers making catches like that and you lose all of the games, you don't want to win. And the same thing is happening this year, but it's a different quarterback. See, Jameis, they demoted him and shipped him out to New York like as a 3 or a 4. But he was their starter last year. That's what they do to black quarterbacks. That's what they want to do to Shedeur. Ship him out of Cleveland as a 3 or a 4. Do y'all see that happening right now? It's going to be a fight if they do. They're not going to be able to do that. They're not going to be able to do it. But that's what they want to do. The same thing they did to Jameis. So let me know what quarterback you think is better than Shedeur based on who you saw play today. Did Cam play today? What did he look like, right? But Shedeur actually did really good. And they were like, yeah, but he had the 3 sacks. I'm like, yeah, well, it's okay because he's trying to make something happen. And Shannon Sharp, I had to just say, Shannon, just stop. He's about Shedeur, you're not fast. Just throw the ball away. I'm like, Shannon, when all of the BS happening in this game against this kid to make sure he don't shine, this what you want to talk about? I hate that so much. I hate that so much that they don't stop to think before they talk and call out the truth. Damn, they still setting this kid up. This kid got to get everything done in this amount of time. They don't focus on that. And I hate it because Shannon is supposed to be black, right? I hate that. I really do. I hate that. Yes, Bucky said he would be in a suite. He would be on the sideline for the Titans game. Yes, totally agree. It said, very proud of Shedeur. Yep. Who's going to rescue him? I don't know. And nobody did it yet. It says Stefanski is losing the locker room. Trust me. I mean, you would think so, right? You would think so. It said JJ is a 3 at best, masquerading as a 1. Right. Because why? They overpaid him. That's the danger of overpaying people. Y'all remember when the summer first started, Mason Graham showed up and he was out of shape. And what did I say? See, that's what happened. When you overpay mediocre people, they don't do nothing to be great. They feel I'm entitled because you paid me, so I must be good, so I don't need to work that hard. I heard he didn't even have a sack yet, and they picked him first instead of Shedeur. I mean, I like Mason Graham, but, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It said the whole league knows he wasn't getting reps, so that's why he always is good with the fans. Right. Everybody knows, basically, that they been harassing this kid, playing keep away from QB1. I've been calling it that all summer. And he won the contest with the stats, and it didn't matter. And then they set him up in the Rams game. So Kevin Stefanski get called out. So, hey, Jerry, I need you to do something for me. But now Jeudy getting called out. Let's see who next. Let's see who next. But we're gonna enjoy this next game. And I hope there are some people that play for the Browns that go the extra mile to make sure that they can't take down the whole team because they being racist. That's it. But Jeudy went for it. Jeudy went for it. Arch is not better than Shedeur. He not. But that's who they want. They don't care about his talent. They don't care about his talent at all. They was going to try to give him the damn Heisman. And he didn't even deserve it. That's why I said don't be surprised if that kid pop out. Now, if that kid pop, don't be surprised. Somebody said something. I think Gage was cold and a little nervous today. Yeah, I didn't blame him because he was upset with himself. That he went to the sideline and they came to put the coat over him. And he was like, and he didn't seem to be faking. Now, Harold Fanning Jr. had 2 drops. Then they called some crazy wildcat or some weird play. I don't know. They be doing all kind of stuff on 4th and 1. Anything to bypass Shedeur. That's just really all it is. And he takes the little he gets and he makes an explosive play and get a touchdown. I'm just like, at what point do y'all say to yourself, you know what? It's not worth risking the whole damn league and me being forced to sell my team to take this kid down because we keep trying, but we keep getting exposed. When does that stop? As a human being, I just want to know. Like, is there ever a time that a criminal that's conspiring go, you know what? I can't do this because I don't want to pay for this. I don't want to lose my team. Like, you see, they just keep going. And that's the part that I find interesting. And I say, I think we're at the point where they're stuck on stupid, meaning they just going to crash out to the point of no return. They passed the point where rational thinking can save them. And this is how you get exposed because you're stuck on stupid. You just going to keep on. Like Jerry Jeudy. He was already hugging on Shedeur last week. You could have just left it at that and took what you got. But no, you entitled. You see Stefanski mistreated him, so now you do it. And you think you could get away with it. Hell, Stefanski didn't get away with it, fool. Why you think you going to get away with it? Because you black? Hell no. We're going to chew you up and spit you out. And feed you to Stefanski. Because that's what's going to happen. Pay attention. Pay attention. Now, they owe him $41 million, so we're going to see how that goes. See, they owe a lot of people a lot of money. It says someone needs to tell Jeudy, practice make perfect, not parlays. Yep, people insist that Jerry Jeudy is point shaving. That's what they saying. Some say he was accused of it in Denver. That's why they got rid of him. Not looking forward to next week. 2 talented black men will be embarrassed in front of the world. We're going to see. We're going to see. They some playmakers. We're going to see. I ain't going to be negative about it. I'm too excited about it. Is that why he always throw a tantrum? You talking about Jerry Jeudy? Mm-hmm. He act like he like that. Like, shut up. You ain't like that. They just overpaid you so they could use you. You don't see that yet? Eric Bieniemy on line 1, please. Was he an offensive coordinator? Was he an offensive coordinator? All right, I'm going to get out of here because it's 400 of us and I can't get through everybody's comments. All right, so we probably going to be talking about Jerry Jeudy again tomorrow. Don't be surprised. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm hoping that Stefanski's fired tomorrow. I feel like a pregnant woman any day now. Just any day now. Just any day now. But maybe that's, maybe they ain't going to do it. I don't know if the pressure is up like that yet. CBS be trying to tell, though. CBS be telling. So if you got a network behind you and they playing your music and then the president call and all these other things, and, maybe something could happen, right? Because people are calling out Haslam today. And it's not just me. So I'll be back tomorrow, guys. This was awesome. Thank y'all for 400 people tonight. Yay! Look for the invite. Watch party next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cam versus Shedeur. Titans versus Browns. And let's pray some of his teammates are compassionate and they don't allow anything to take down the team next week. That they like, look, Shedeur, I got your back. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. All right. I'm going to see y'all later. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports, everybody.